Hello, everybody. Welcome to Earth's Fury. My name's Kevin Finnerty, and we'll be running through this course together, which I'm excited for. I haven't done this one in a couple of years. It'll be cool to be back to it. That said, if you logged in this morning, I got a little bit scrambled here with Brightspace. You may have seen a whole bunch of stuff here. If you haven't checked it out yet, then no worries. You're good, right? But if you logged in this morning and you saw all kinds of craziness, that was like a version of the old course that I was trying to copy, and it's just not working. So we're going to start fresh. I'll steal little things from that as we go. And now it should be all cleaned up. It should look like this. So notes that what I'm going to do, just to make sure that we're not confusing ourselves, is I'm going to write Spring 23 on everything I upload over here. Okay. So the way to navigate the course, the way that I've done my other Brightspace courses, is really going to be through this content tab right here. So you click content, you've got important docs and course info, and then segment 1. And then as we work our way down, you'll see segment 2, segment 3, segment 4 open up as we work our way through the course. All right. We will do so according to this schedule right here. Basically, everything worked out where we're in 2-week chunks throughout the whole course. So unless I messed up a date here, everything should really be the same format, which is 2 weeks. And on the second week, that Thursday and Friday, the quiz will be open. So we'll double check my first one here. Today, the 23rd, up to February 3rd looks good with the quiz on the 2nd and the 3rd, the last Thursday, Friday. All right, so that's the content. For the reading, I'll show you this in a moment, but I've got both the hazards book that should be at the bookstore, and I've got an online free textbook that's like an open source free book that we'll steal from a little bit as we go. The only place where we mess with that format a little bit is during the spring break week. Segment 4, that's like 3 weeks, but spring break's in the middle of it, so it's really still 2 weeks of class. But I also want to squeeze a midterm in there. So that week, Wednesday, Thursday will be the segment quiz rather than Thursday, Friday. And then Thursday, Friday will be the midterm. So they overlap on Thursday, but you do it however works for you. Someday between Wednesday, Thursday, do the segment 4 quiz. Someday between Thursday, Friday, do the midterm. And it'd be wise to do the segment 4 quiz first. Keep tuned in on that. We'll see how that works as we get closer. If we have to change it a little bit, we will. And then we're back to 2-week chunks with the quiz on a Thursday, Friday at the end of each one. So it should be pretty straightforward in terms of organization. Should be okay. And again, under content, there will be a new tab for each segment as we go. All right. We're not going to go back and do old ones once we pass, though. So you really got to pay attention to these dates. And they're not going to come up as within Brightspace as like notifications or anything. Use this right here. Stick this in your, print it, stick it to your door, put these dates in your phone, whatever works for you. These dates in red are really going to be what we got to stick by. All right. That said, let's go back and look at the syllabus. Little mention of what we're doing here, which is if we're going to live on this planet, and if you want to think of it, sometimes it gets explained as a spaceship. It's whipping around the sun and spinning at the same time while the sun is also on the move. And on it, that's an incredibly dangerous situation. Just ask the dinosaurs, right? And on it, there's all sorts of additional dangers that we're going to really focus on in this course. With tectonics, with the way that the very thin outer crust is broken into chunks that are all running into each other or splitting apart from each other or grinding against each other. And then with the very thin atmosphere that's on top of that, creating some surface processes like rivers and landslides and floods and coastal processes, and we'll look at all that. So the goal is we really want to understand how it is that cities on this very dynamic planet could be sustainable, really. There's always going to be earthquake issues in, say, San Francisco and LA. It's never going to go away. They've happened historically. They continue to happen. Our very short lifetime may feel like a long time in between these events, but we live so short compared to the planet, the history of the planet, that to it, if you were a tectonic plate or you were a mountain watching these humans, it's like a flash in the pan. It's a very quick thing. So while those earthquakes continue to happen, how do we think about that? Think about our society in these dynamic situations. Nobody consulted a geologist to say like, hey, look at this San Francisco Bay. We should build a city here, and where a geologist would say, no, that's not a good idea. It's probably a bad idea from a geologic context to have a city there, but for where other places does it make sense, like culturally or in terms of shipping and commerce and where things are. The city developed. The geology is the geology. Now that we are getting better and better at understanding it, how can we understand what the best way to have that city be there is? So yeah, this is like your home. This planet's your home. How can we really develop this understanding of how it works? Back to what we got to do here. So the course text, the main text that's available through the bookstore. Um, check that out. I didn't do a link for it. Maybe I should have. The other one we'll use is a free open source book. So if you follow this website, it's pretty good. It's not bad. The way that I'll do it when I do the videos that like substitute for our lectures is I'll go to this download PDF file. So these you can use them online, or you could download them to have them offline as well. But this is what I'll show when we do the videos. Just I like the way that it's organized as a PDF a little bit better than the book. So check that out. Not too bad. To get through this, stick to the schedule. I can't tell you enough how important that is. Just get those dates down. Those quizzes will come up. And if you stop paying attention for a couple of weeks, that's going to go right by you. Keep in contact with me. Email's the easiest way. I teach high school earth science, so I'm full during the day, but I always have my email open. I can usually get back to you pretty quick. And students that reach out to me ahead of time, generally we all get along. Everything goes great. It's the students that have bad things to say about me in the reports and things are usually the ones that let things lapse and then try to come back, which, as the quiz policy will show you in a moment, isn't going to happen. For the quizzes, about 10% will be on discussions. We'll have a handful of them. There won't be one every module. 60% will be the segment quizzes. There's 7 of them, but we're only going to count the best 6. I'll tell you that in a minute. And then 30% will go towards the midterm and final. Currently, we're going to split that evenly, 15 and 15% each. So with the quizzes, please, this is, if you're going to only do one thing out of this video and out of the syllabus, this is the section to read. Okay. This is where the most issues have come up in the past. They're on timers. It's like the expectation is that you've done the reading, you've done the work, and then when it's time to start the quiz, you got a timer because some of this stuff is going to be in your head already. We're not going to have it be where the quiz is just open and you can like do the whole module's worth of work while the quiz is open. Get your work done first, and then you'll be okay. So once you click start, that timer begins, and that's your shot at that one. The lowest quiz is going to be dropped. This is the big thing here. And this is intended to take care of everybody that misses quizzes for every reason. It's not, I can't judge or like, I don't know. I just don't have the ability to say like, yes, that's a valid excuse or that's not a valid excuse. When people say, oh, I missed the quiz because of this, that, or the other thing. Here's like all of the lists of all of the excuses I've gotten through the years. So the way I try to just be the most fair with this is that everybody gets one, whether it's what would be considered a valid excuse or not. I don't know. That way I'm not in the place where I'm making that decision to say that some are okay and some are not okay. So everybody gets one. If you manage to do all the quizzes, just the lowest of those will get dropped. If you miss one, the 0, it'll be there, but it gets dropped. No big deal. If you get to where you're missing second and third quizzes, that's when your grade's going to start to suffer a bit because of it. I do review the quizzes once they're completed, so I'll look through, and if there's one, like if there's a question that everybody bombed, it's clear that maybe it was an unfair question or maybe I screwed up the key, something like that. So I'll be sure we're all okay there and get things fixed up. Oh, shoot, left one date in there. That's the wrong date. I'll fix that. But the final will basically be during finals week. I'll have that open for 3 to 4 days within finals week so that whenever you don't have one of your other ones that's pre-scheduled, you can go ahead and do it at any point through those days. But it's not the week of November 10th. We'll be sure that's fixed. All right, that should do it for the rules, everybody. What do you think? So to get yourself started, segment 1, I currently only have this article in there. Check it out. It says it's 7 pages, but don't worry, a couple pages are just graphics like this. It's a lot shorter. It's about the NFIP program, the flood insurance program that the feds have for us. Now, yes, this article is a little bit old, so you might say, well, this is like old politics. Some of the politics things, yes, might be a little bit old. But what's really cool about this one, the core idea of the course comes out in the argument that's in this article. So what I'm going to have you do is read it for now. I'll open up a discussion post that will have you take one of the stances. I'll give you a couple of choices. Because it's complicated. Some of this stuff is complicated. Like, what would we say with Earth's Fury? Should we tell everybody in, say, New Orleans, leave, get out, the city is not sustainable? You might say, well, that's, it's not. It's going to continue to subside, and the river sediment is no longer building it up, and it's a long-term, very, very, very significant, severe problem. But we're also realistically not going to say that. We're not going to empty that city out and think of the heritage here in America that is centered around New Orleans. And then how many other cities would we have to get rid of? How many are coastal with rising sea levels? How many are tectonically active on the West Coast, So there's not easy solutions to some of this stuff. And this article does a great job of raising some of those points. So read it for today. It's not really that long. And then we'll have a discussion. You'll take a stance after that. And then we'll get going with geology. All right. Sound good, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. I wish you luck, and email with any questions. I look forward to getting this course on the road. Good luck, everybody.